Not too loud. Hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to FanZcene. With me today are the creators, producer, director of it's Aliens versus Rednecks, right? I always want to say Rednecks versus Aliens first.
It is
Rednecks.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
I get it always confused. Like the Aliens versus Rednecks or Rednecks versus Aliens?
So Aliens versus Rednecks is the movie you don't want to watch.
Yeah, you wanted to watch the other one, Rednecks versus Aliens. Yes, and with
not
me,
not that there are arch enemies or anything.
No.
Hey, look.
Yeah,
there's Armageddon, there's Deep Impact, and there's a bunch of other crappy meteorite movies that were produced at the same time. So there's room for all of our crappy movies.
Yes, there's room for it all around.
We are the Armageddon of Rednecks and Aliens.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Wait, that would make me Michael Bay. No, I don't want to be Michael Bay.
Yeah, but then you can have that great line in the commentary where he tells Ben Affleck, "Shut the fuck up," because Ben Affleck's telling him, it's like, "What are we doing here? This isn't believable," and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Ben."
That's right.
Actually, that is probably a line that is a line that would come out of Mike's mouth.
We're talking to you, Affleck.
But welcome, James. Welcome, Michael, the director Michael, and producer James here. We do have a few in the chat saying hello. So hello, Scribe Light says good morning, good afternoon, all. Hey, I got a new channel member. Here. B Movie Theater just joined. Thank you, and he's dropping some emojis in the chat. B Movies and Boobies, the little emojis.
Hey, but we are in the right crowd.
Yes. Who doesn't love B Movies and Boobies?
Well, if you don't, you're a commie.
Yeah, we have Video Tasties with us, as he says, "Yeehaw!" Glad to have you with us, Video Tasties.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Not Michael Bay for Rednecks, Michael Watering Hole. Watering Hole instead of Bay.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. But welcome everybody on the chat, everybody at home watching. I said walking. They might be. Who knows? They might be walking and listening.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anybody knows.
Great impression. I'm not good with that, but great impression. Yeah, so let's jump right on into this, guys. So we'll have a good time. We'll have a good chat, talk movies and everything. Is there anything you guys want to announce about Aliens versus Rednecks, or Rednecks versus Aliens? Sorry, Rednecks versus Aliens, here, right now.
We got a little time. Let's hold off on because we do have an announcement.
Yes.
Which will be exclusive here.
What are we, Hulk Hogan now?
We haven't even put out the press release yet, but we got time. We could drop that in a little bit.
We'll get there. Okay. Well, I'm glad to have you here because I know you guys have been hard at work trying to get this all together and everything. So make sure everybody out there is watching in the chat, share it out, tell your friends, tell your family. We're going to have an announcement here about this. But what have you guys been into lately? What have you guys been into besides working on this project?
I'm just working on this project. Mike's got a million things going on, so I'll let him spill.
Yeah. Dinner with a Leatherface. The documentary I started making in 2015, late 2015, early 2016 is in full tilt boogie on editing. Nice. We have several film festivals. One of them being, I think it's Fantastic Fest is hungry for it. So we have several editors that Anchor Bay uses on the project. I've been helping them with logging and things like that, which is like the bane of my existence, but I understand it. Doing that, working on a couple of potential reality show things that are more interesting than your average reality show. And we have some bites on a couple of them, and one of them being, what was that?
Is it Life and Death?
No.
Oh.
No, unfortunately. But one's never been done before. I'm going to keep that one kind of secret until things start happening with it. But we shot a travel show in 2019 that involved the basic premise is it's a family-oriented travel show, and the hook is you have a human host and 2 alien co-hosts. The aliens come to blow up the Earth, and in a homage to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's because their father is making an intergalactic freeway and Earth is in the way. So they're going to blow it up. But the human host goes, no, there's so much cool stuff here. You got to check out. And they're like, well, prove it. And they're a brother and sister recon team. And so they head off with this mild-mannered host. And each episode would be a fun thing, like an amusement park or putt-putt golf course or something fun in the whatever region, an educational or cultural thing, and a food thing. So it would be the trifecta of not just of a travel show, not just a food show or a travel show. It's kind of the kind of combination with the whole premise that these puppets are fish out of water. But we shot a pilot for it, and it was really great because we went to Pink's Hot Dogs here in Los Angeles, went to the La Brea Tar Pits, and a couple of Bronson Caves where like the Batman 66 show.
Nice.
That the Batmobile comes out of. A lot of B-50s movies were shot there. But we shot the pilot in 2019, and then the world shut down in 2020. So no one was traveling. So I went, well, there goes that idea. No one's traveling ever again. So I put it aside in hopes that things would get better, and they have, and I guess. And so I've been working on that, and we got some bites on that. And then I have another thing involving puppets because I have some
Why
weird.
not?
I guess, yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love puppets?
It's little puppets, man.
But to go back to like, we went to Pink's, and the women that we interviewed that own Pink's were talking to the pups like they were real. It was like
that's awesome.
But the other thing I have is that it's called Horrific. It's a Mystery Science Theater meets talk show type situation.
Oh, that's cool.
Where we would and they're monster puppets. There's a little vampire, there's a zombie girl, there's a mummy, there's a creature from the Black Lagoon type, and then there's the lounge lizard who starts off human, but in a homage to the original Nutty Professor. He drinks a potion, falls behind a bar, and comes up as a lizard. And so let's say we're showing Evil Dead 2. The lounge lizard would make a themed cocktail for the viewing of the movie. Then you watch the movie and they riff on it, a la Mystery Science Theater, and then they bring someone from the movie, whether it's Sam Raimi or Bruce Campbell or another actor or a special effects person, and then they riff on them. So is the
lounge lizard named Buddy?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Or his human form is Professor Clump.
Oh, well,
it's not Clump. I think I named him Clump or something. It's similar to it's not Kelp, because Professor Kelp is Jerry Lewis's name in The Nutty Professor. Clump is Eddie Murphy's name. I think it was like Professor Kelp or for Professor Camp or something like that.
I'm a Kelp guy, but
I am too. The OG.
I still contend, and I will argue to my dying day, that the best character introduction in a film is the introduction of Professor Kelp in The Nutty Professor, in the original Nutty Professor. That introduction to a character is genius. It's long, but it's genius.
It's perfect.
Everything was longer back then.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Back when we had patience.
Right. And attention spans.
What?
What?
And attention.
And we're off. Those sound great. Those sound pretty cool. I like both of those. They sound. I hope you get them made.
Well, we've shot pilots for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sorry. We shot pilots for the 2 puppet things. The third thing, we haven't shot a pilot, but I just recently put together a sizzle reel from existing things, so that we just showed for the first time to a few people yesterday. So
nice.
We're off and running.
Nice. Well, Video Tasty says as long as there are attractive cousins in it, I'm sold. So
yeah, there's going to be attractive everything.
Yeah,
even the aliens will be attractive. Attractive.
I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Why? How come you are not on Sports Illustrated right now?
That's our gold
swimsuit edition.
Because I'm not here to wear swimsuits for you, Greg.
Aw. Damn my male gaze.
Well, there'll be a private session. You paid for it.
You go. He'll send you a link to his OnlyFans.
Fansley. I'm a Fansley boy.
Fansley.
You're right.
OnlyFans is too mainstream. I like being different.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking B movies, so let's do the B side of OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Let's keep it edgy.
But yeah, those sound great. Those was definitely stuff I would watch. I would definitely watch those.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
we could. But at some point we could have the puppets on.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have them interviewed.
Oh yeah, yeah. We should have the puppets on. We actually talked. We've talked about in our planning a way to get the puppets in, not into the Rednecks movie, but as part of the promotion, and definitely during the campaign. I think a few of the puppet characters are going to show up.
They might show up. Well, let me find a picture.
Because at Modern Classic Pictures, like all studios, all of our people like to support each other. All the projects support each other, and our puppets like to support our real peeps.
Nice.
There's our artwork.
Here, let me see if I can get it up there for you.
Ooh, look at that!
I like the vampire. There you go.
And then hold on, wait for it. Here's from our first shoot.
You should have sent them to me, and then I could bring them up.
Yeah, your old man technology is okay, kind of. Everybody can watch that.
What? Oh God, it's coming at us.
Put in the pic, and he can post it.
Yeah.
That's all you get for now. I'll post them later.
Just a little tease.
That's just that's your blurry 1970s Cinemax tease.
Well, I used to have a teacher in high school who'd show us the test. He'd be like, "Do you guys want to see the test before you take it?" We were like, "Yeah," like the day before, and then he'd walk around the entire class doing this,
just shaking it in front of your face.
Yeah. He was an asshole, but he was cool.
Classic asshole teacher move.
Yeah,
look at it.
The teacher who also told us how to smuggle 35 millimeter cameras into concerts to take photos that he would then blow up to 8x10s and sell back to us. He was a businessman.
He's smart.
Very smart businessman.
He got there. Yeah, he got there who he was. So, with all that, like I said, you should have sent me the images. I could pop them up right here, and everybody could see them.
Yeah, man. Use the technology.
Well,
use the force.
Is there a FanZcene email?
Yes, that's what it is. FanZcene@gmail.com.
I'll do that right now.
Oh, all right.
Well, so we can continue to talk.
You'll be boring for a while.
Well, it's FanZceneVids@gmail.com.
What is it?
Here, can you see the private chat? Do you see the private chat? I'll pop it in there for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, do you remember the old Hollywood Squares?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen the news that they're rebooting Hollywood Squares for the
not.
fourth time, I think?
Again?
So So I'm just going to lay this little news on you, and then you just give me your reaction. The center square and wait, we lost him. Oh my God. The guy hosting the show just died.
I don't know what happened.
I was literally like, "What do we do?
No, we got to carry the show."
No, I'm sorry. I really don't know what happened. I was typing in the private chat and it like kicked me. It was weird.
Oh, that is weird.
There you go. I put it in there for you. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Apologize, guys. Because the internet was fine. It just like kicked me.
It was just scary for a moment.
We have to talk to people.
Oh no, the captain of the ship is gone.
Yeah, it's like we talk all the time. The last thing I want to do is talk to him live on YouTube.
I don't want to do it again. But no, they're rebooting it.
We'll be talking again 5 minutes after this.
That's true.
Yep.
I don't even remember what we were talking about now.
Hollywood Squares are rebooting it for a fourth time.
Hollywood Squares. So the producer, one of the producers, and the center square is going to be Drew Barrymore.
No.
Now, I'm just going to give you a hot take here.
Go ahead.
I like Drew. You know, I grew up with Drew Barrymore.
Everybody likes Drew.
Everybody likes Drew. I like the old Hollywood Squares. The old Hollywood Squares had an edge to it.
Yeah,
it was funny, especially as kids, because it felt naughty at times, especially the center square.
Paul Lynn, the one guy. Yeah, Paul Lynn. That's what I was about to say.
Paul Lynn was amazing, and had the perfect balance of like snark and a little bit of blue, but only insinuating blue. He'd throw in like the couch gay jokes, just all the kinds of stuff that as kids were like, it was like our favorite cartoons where you felt like you were a genius if you saw, the underlying message or some little Easter egg that they threw in there.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff was blatant.
I don't feel like she's going to give us that because she's nice to everyone. She's so nice. I feel like it's just not going to have the same flavor.
Yeah, it's not edgy. It's like can't be edgy anymore.
That's why I posted on Facebook. Oh, great, something original.
Yeah, right.
Something original. Yeah. The fourth reboot of
Yeah.
I feel like that's happening. That is like endemic of the problems that are happening in Hollywood. Is, well, first of all, it's always been that managers, the suits love repeats because they're easy.
Yeah.
But this idea that almost every remake reboot that I've seen, especially of shows that have come out in the 70s and 80s, have their teeth just pulled from them. Everything that made them interesting and funny and edgy is removed. And then they try to cater to this broad audience, which in a lot of the cases wasn't the case with the original product, which is why it worked so well. They weren't trying to appeal to everyone. They were just doing something that they thought was fun. And I feel like that's gone now because with the suits, it's all like, we'd love to do Hollywood Squares, but we want like everyone to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the irony is that the original, I felt like everyone did watch it.
Yeah.
But they weren't.
It's because there were only 3 channels.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Well, there might have been 5 in some markets by that time.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
We were sort of talking a little bit about this as well with the movie Adventures in Babysitting, because that movie on its face is a girls' slumber party movie, but men, women, parents, they could all watch it because there's something in there for everybody. Like the dudes are carrying around Playboys throughout the whole movie. Just like looking at it, like, hey, that's you. They're carrying Playboys. There's the chick who's in the bus station, and there's Gunn, and there's the Thor superhero, James Vincent D'Onofrio. And it's got something for everybody, and she says the F word and stuff. And like on his face, it's a family movie. So it's like everything's lost that edge. You can't do that anymore. You can. It's just they don't want you to do it.
You can. They're just too scared to do it.
Oh, I have faith though. I have faith in this Fall Guy movie though. I think it's going to be fun.
It looks good. Yeah.
It's getting great reviews.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely there are definitely still producers and directors that are willing to take it to the edge. I mean, look at Deadpool. It'll be interesting to see what it does to the Disney franchise, but Deadpool is it's at least the original, and the way that it's been going so far. I haven't seen the latest one yet.
No one has.
No, I'm sure some test screeners have seen some pieces.
I saw a test screener of Beetlejuice, but I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, you have?
Yes, he did.
All I'm going to say is this, because Warner Brothers won't sue me for it. It's fucking really good.
Is it? Is it really good? Because I'll be honest, that trailer, I wasn't digging the trailer because I don't like it was too modern of a trailer.
It's really fucking good. That's my review. I was blown away. There's an Ingmar Bergman joke in it. It's like a Seventh Seal joke, a long Seventh Seal joke. I was like, who's gonna know what this is? And I laughed. I was like, okay, there's that guy. That guy there's a filmmaker. He's laughing harder than everyone else because people were chuckling, but because it was weird just in general. But I was like, film student, old guy.
Yeah, that's good to hear because that trailer didn't sell me. I mean, it was great to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice and all the other cast, but it was just like the slowed down song, and it just felt too like modern of a song. And I'm thinking that's not Tim Burton. The way the trailer was presented. The movie looks like Tim Burton, but the way the trailer presented wasn't.
The ending of the movie is one of the best things I've seen in 30 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this makes total sense. I'm not going to say anything else because Warner Brothers.
Did they
get you?
Did they do open end or closed? Is it?
I don't know. Maybe you just have to see the movie.
I can't imagine a studio executive greenlighting this without the possibility of continuing the franchise.
Well, I'll say that I will say this. It definitely feels like they took a couple pages of the playbook from the animated series, which I also enjoyed.
Oh, nice.
And there's room. How long ago was Beetlejuice? 88?
Yeah, I think so.
They're just doing a sequel now. Oh, I'm sure it's about a dead guy. It's open ended.
he's dead, man.
Can't wait to see the Futurama sequel when they're all just heads and jars.
I just want to see a Futurama movie.
There you go.
I would
love a live action movie. Someone posted, like they are all over the place now. Someone posted AI of like a Futurama movie.
Yeah,
like a live action movie, and the pictures were kind of cool. And I was like, now I want to see that movie.
Have you seen Fallout yet?
No,
I haven't watched it. Yeah,
there's a character that shows up later in Fallout that just takes you right to Futurama.
Is it a giant lobster going?
It's not, but once this character shows up, you're like, a giant lobster could actually happen now. A talking lobster could actually happen. Nice. Because the whole conceit of Fallout is radioactivity. It's a radioactive world, and radioactivity makes mutants. That's science. Damn it, that's science.
It's science.
So there's mutants, but there's one that shows up. I can't remember. It's like toward the end, like in the last 2 or 3 episodes. And yeah, it was the first thing I thought of. Was like, I feel like I just stepped into a live action Futurama.
Oh, it's on the verge. It's on the verge. Speaking of which, not that it has to do with that, but I do have these I can bring up for you guys now.
Ooh, hey,
they look so much better.
So much better than a phone.
Screen on screen action.
You got that?
Oh, look, there they are.
There they all are.
Yeah, the only one that's missing.
Tell us who that handsome gentleman in the center is.
Oh, we're missing the lounge lizard because we didn't shoot him that day, but we shot two full episodes. That is Kirk Thatcher Kirk is going to be in Rednecks versus Aliens. You might have seen him in a little made for Disney Plus movie by Michael Giacchino called Werewolf by Midnight. Werewolf by Night. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
He's the Scottish guy that's in the that's one of the guys fighting the monster in that. And
nice.
Who's having a puppet made? Who said that?
Hollowfield here.
Hey, Hollowfield, I'm having a puppet made. Is it a puppet of me?
I don't know. He works with Ron DeShear. He makes Ron DeShear comic books.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, Kirk Thatcher is a friend of mine who actually helped develop Travel in Time, the puppet-oriented, family-oriented travel show. He also has directed the Muppets several times.
Nice.
I think the last time was Muppet Haunted Mansion for Disney Plus. Kirk's first job was gluing teeth into the Sarlacc pit on Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
He was an Ewok wrangler at one point.
That's cool. He lived a good career then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's career is great. Like he designed all the monsters for the 1986 movie House with the Greatest American Hero.
Nice. Nice. I love House.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's rumblings of a remake. Shh, didn't hear it from me.
Nobody's gonna know because they won't watch this.
That's true. Don't say that. We're on it.
I'm just kidding. They're gonna watch it.
If you IMDb Kurt Thatcher, you will see that he's just had a long career hanging out with puppets.
Puppets and cool people. Puppets and cool people.
Nice.
Yeah, for
sure. But Kirk was one of our guests, even though he's also he's involved with this puppet thing as well. But for this, he was just playing guest, and it was a great time. We had a great time. We interviewed him and my friend Jessica Moore, my ingenue, who I've been putting in all my movies as of late because she keeps saying, "Okay, I'll do it."
Hey, if you're crazy enough to do it, you're in it.
Well, she quit acting for a minute and has become a social media presence with her fashion and travel vlogs and stuff. But I sucked her back in. I was like, come back to the dark side. Act for me.
I get this.
She's too good of an actress to not act. So I'm glad she's back, and she's done very good stuff in the projects I've used her in so far, and we'll just continue to hopefully work with each other. I was going to send you something else. I don't remember.
And we'll like one of those attractive cousins in Rednecks.
Yeah, she will be in Rednecks versus Aliens.
You're all looking for those attractive cousins.
Yes, those attractive cousins. I'm sure as the B movie theater put it there earlier, and that we're all fans of. It's a B movie. Is there going to be boobies? I'm just putting that out there.
I'm lobbying for boobies. I'm a big fan.
I'm down for it.
I'm a big fan of the boobies. I do, however, have to say that I like unique ways of presenting the mammary glands.
Yeah.
Rather than just like the in the shower or the the usual like, oh, her shirt got ripped off kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think looking for interesting ways and ways that propel the story forward rather than just be gratuitous.
Yeah, just gratuitous. Because
not that I hate the occasional gratuitous flash, but I like to think we're a little more clever than that and make it a little more interesting. I also thought about adding that to the perks to making it a stretch goal for the campaign.
Yeah,
because there are on the business side of it, it does cost a little extra money generally to flash those things. There are nudity riders that show up in the contracts.
Yes,
those cost a little extra money. So I will probably make that a stretch goal.
Yeah, I think that's something clever. I mean, I just talked to Richard Gabai, the director Richard Gabai, if you guys know him. He was just saying, talking about how, yeah, he's a great guy. He's just saying, like, it's at your fingertips now. Nudity's everywhere because they don't put it in movies anymore. And it's like, why, unless you're HBO doing like Game of Thrones or something, you can just go onto, tube video sites and you can see all the nudity you want. So like you were saying, it's like, so if you're going to put it in a movie now, I think it's got to be presented in maybe almost a funny way. I mean, yeah, it's got to going to be titillating, but you can't just like
titillating.
Yeah, we love those shower scenes. Titillating, yeah. You can't just be like doing those shower scenes that we love in the '80s with like Linnea Quigley and all them. You got to present it in a fresh, funny way where it's just like, oh, I didn't expect to see those. Something like that.
A little funny, creative, surprising spin on it. I mean, that's what we try to do with all of our projects. We're always looking for ways to do that. So this is no different.
I don't like to call them boobies. I like to call them sweater meats.
I like sweater yams.
Hashtag sweater meats. Let me just put that in the chat right now. Hashtag.
There you go, dude.
Don't do that.
There's your perk, sweater meats. That's your perk, sweater meats.
It does seem like a very.
Then you gotta have. It does. It does.
That kind of term.
Greg, I just sent you another. I sent you a video.
What?
Okay.
I sent him a brief snippet of one of the two puppets from Travel in Time.
Oh.
See if I can pull it up here real quick.
A snip.
A
snip.
A snippet.
Snippet. Just
trying to pull it up here for you. I'm gonna have to present it. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Keep audio. Yes. And share. All right. Popped up on there. There you go.
Look at that cute guy.
Oh, I don't have the audio on. Let me rewind it. There you go.
Oh, what is this place? You, what are you doing with that little device? Nice.
That's cool. I like that. That's a good puppet. It's a good puppet.
I like the walleye look. That's
yeah.
I just watched the Holdovers, and there's a whole through line of walleye in there.
And the guy who created those, Andrew Clement, brilliant special effects guy, has a shop here in LA. Does a lot of work on a lot of big movies. Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nightmare on Elm Street. You name it, he probably worked on it because he's been in the business forever. He built those puppets for us. There's the girl is pink. Surprise.
Surprise.
But, they're really cool. It was funny when we were making them. He was like, "What do you want? Blinking eyes and moving eyes?" I'm like, "You don't have to do that. Not necessary. This is a local show."
School ping pong balls.
Yeah, it was cool.
Then he showed him. He's like, I put animatronic eyes, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna yell at you. They're great. They're really great, and I hope the show does get picked up because I don't think there's anything like it on TV.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And because I grew up, I was raised by my mom and my grandma, and my mom worked for the phone company in Michigan, and she'd get 3 weeks off every summer, and she would be like, where do you want to go? Because she'd always take me on vacation, and we'd always do stuff that was educational as well as fun. I've been to Disneyland and Disney World, but I also went to Monticello, and I've seen Mount Rushmore, and I've seen the Grand Canyon. Stuff that's cultural, historical, important. Yeah. Now, when I felt like Pee-wee in the Alamo waiting to get to the basement. A lot of the times, listening to these people at historical places going like, "Oh, let's go! I want to get some out of the gift shop and go someplace fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of what the show is based on that, and the fact that my buddy Rolf, who produced my 50s sci-fi spoof Mutant Swinger from Mars, he had this idea 25, 30 years, probably 30 years ago now. And originally it was different kinds of puppets, and they were an elderly couple, and Kirk and I thought, kids want to see aliens or monsters or something quirky. So we just retooled it a bit, and Rolf's just happy that we actually shot something. For it. Because that's there's always talk, but I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. I like to, even if it is just a one-off sizzle reel or a trailer or something, get something out there to show visually, because that's what people want now anyway. Yeah, you can have your pitch deck and, oh, look, paper, this is great, pictures, but visually, if you have a video of some sort, they're way more apt to like take you seriously, and if it's good, you never know. I'm hoping that that's our sizzle reel for traveling to all these projects.
No, well, they look cool, and that puppet looked great. That looked great. I can see that selling. Hopefully.
Well, I need about 40 of you in various studio situations where you just be like, sold. How much?
Done. What do you need? Let me write that down.
Those studio jobs, unfortunately, are like the presidency, though. You have those candidates who come whose whole campaign are like I'm gonna break the seal on UFOs. I'm gonna tell the whole world. And then as soon as they get in the office, it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not telling about those. The aliens don't exist.
Here's the realities of the office. You're going to protect your job at all costs. You're not going to make any. You're not going to make any dicey decisions, and hopefully, you'll be in this job for 5 years before you get fired and have to move on to the next one.
Yeah,
that's what Hollywood is now. That's that. Except for independent production companies, that's where all the cool stuff is coming out of now.
Yes, I agree with that.
Keep quiet. Keep your head down and wear a cup.
A cup.
A titanium cup.
Nice. Speaking of independent films, since we're got here 37 minutes into the thing, do you want to reveal the big news on Rednecks vs. Aliens, or do you want to wait a little longer?
And it doesn't just affect Rednecks.
Hi, Michael.
It is really, it doesn't affect just Rednecks, but Rednecks, I think, will be technically not the first. So you already know the news. We already know that Anchor Bay is releasing Dinner with Leatherface.
Mm-hmm.
They're also re-releasing. Did you talk to them about releasing Inner Demons?
No,
definitely.
Inner Demons is someone else.
So anyway, there's a whole string of stuff that's been going on, and in the midst of all those conversations, we have reached an agreement whereby Anchor Bay, where our company, Modern Classic Pictures, has signed a first look deal with Anchor Bay, so that all of our projects, probably starting with the two that are already in the thing, but the next original one that still is to be shot will be Rednecks vs. Aliens. And hopefully it will be a relationship that will continue for a long, long time, because we love Anchor Bay. And Anchor Bay, weirdly enough, the old Anchor Bay was the one to release Mike's very first film that was actually released way back in the day, Hatred of a Minute. So it's kind of full circle. And it's huge for me, because obviously I grew up watching those films, and I'm really excited that we've come to this arrangement.
I'm just glad it's not a first no deal.
Yeah,
the first no deals are terrible.
They're terrible, but there's so many of them. There's plentiful first no deals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
we haven't even put out the press release for it yet. So this is literally we're breaking it right here. Nobody else has heard this news.
To anybody watching that will rewatch Rednecks vs. Aliens, Modern Classic Pictures have just signed a first look deal with I almost said A24 Anchor Bay Entertainment. So there you guys go, Anchor Bay, that's pretty cool because I'm really glad Anchor Bay is sort of making a comeback because they always release the cool shit anyways.
Yeah, it fits their brand. Their brand fits our brand so well. It's so it's kind of an amazing thing. It's one of those things that when it occurs, you're like, well, of course, but then you're also awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and also I've acquired some other movies for Anchor Bay, so
nice.
Some friends of mine.
Nice.
Sean Whalen's film. Sean Whalen, Crust. That's Anchor Bay now.
Yeah.
Thanks to me. I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, Anchor Bay's got to buy this," and connected them. So I'm glad that
by the end of the year, we'll be responsible for half of their slate.
Oh, you know what? I also heard you're a producer on one of a guy I know's movie, Dookie Fleischwater documentary.
Oh, you know Kevin?
Yeah, I know Kevin. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I am. Yes. I've helped him out. I mean, it's really all him. I've facilitated things he needed the best I can. I could.
Yeah.
The same thing with because I'm helping produce 2 other documentaries aside from I'm definitely hardcore producing one documentary and helping another one. One of them is a documentary about the fan base of Howard the Duck, which I think I told you about.
No, you did not tell us that. I'm a fan of Howard the Duck. I love it. I just got the 4K not too long ago.
Oh, so you were the one. Anyway.
You should see my friend Tom. He's got like 30 copies of Howard the Duck. He's brought them on. He's got like the 4K steelbook, the 4K single thing. He's got the Blu-ray, the DVD.
Have you had an intervention with your friend?
Obviously, a man with impeccable taste.
I rip on the movie, but yet I'm helping produce a documentary about it. No, it started out with I was able. Ernie Trinidad is the director and main producer in that, and he had been interviewing people, but he didn't have a heavy hitter yet. And I was like, well, I have a friend who used to work for Phil Tippett. I can hook that up, and that's how the ball started rolling. So. And we've got the heavy hitters now. We've got Tippett, we've got William Hike, we've got Leah Thompson,
awesome.
Jeffrey Jones, a lot of people from the movie who still got people who are extras and bit parts and things like that. But we still, as much as we want him, he's avoided us. I've had to argue with his manager, but. I know he's watching. Tim Robbins call me.
Tim Robbins.
Because Tim Robbins is our holdout.
If anybody knows Tim Robbins, just sidle up next to him and tell him to return the call.
It got to a point where Ernie went to a play that Tim Robbins was in that he produced. I believe he directed it too. For actors something. It's a playhouse he's been attached to for many, many years. Like Jack Black was attached to it as well. I believe John Cusack was attached to it at one point, but I can't remember it. Actor something. I believe it's in Beverly Hills.
One of them actors studios.
But and then the funny thing about the Dookie documentary is I'm also producing and directing a documentary about this band here from Santa Ana called the Radioactive Chicken Heads.
Oh yeah.
Kevin was in the Radioactive Chicken Heads.
Yes.
I mean, no, he wasn't because he's not a mutant chicken.
No.
He was. I believe he was also in Green Jello too at one point.
We can neither confirm nor deny anyone's
identity.
identity or that radioactive chicken heads even exist.
Yes. But they do exist. They have for 30 years, and I started this documentary several years ago as well. But there's just so much stuff.
You got all kinds of things in the process, don't you, man?
I do. And the Chicken Heads documentary, the interesting thing is, like, Dookie is involved with them.
Mm-hmm.
Dookie was also involved. I interviewed him for the Gunnar Hansen documentary because he did a movie with Gunnar.
Yeah, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
The immortal classic Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers.
I love it. I love that movie. I do love that movie.
When you drink your wine, you have to keep your pinky out when you watch that movie.
Yeah, it's Michelle Bauer takes off her clothes and pulls out a chainsaw.
but it was weird how just a lot of this stuff all just kind of ties in together, and yeah.
Once you get into the world of fringe music and film,
I call it alternative Hollywood royalty.
I like that. Alternative Hollywood royalty. I like that.
Richard Elfman's involved in that because he utilizes the chicken heads as often as he can. Elfman's been in some of their videos, as is Anastasia, Richard's wife. They make an appearance.
We've got chicken heads talking about doing music for Rednecks.
Yes,
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
And a couple of the chicken heads did the theme song for Traveling Time, the puppet travel show.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those chicken heads ain't just crazy; they're serious musicians.
Yeah,
and Bloody Bridget, which is Richard's newest movie, which has been making the film festival circuit and making lots of noise and winning lots of awards. They're in that. The chicken heads are in that. So, yeah, it's a weird kind of alternative Hollywood.
I like that. I like that. That's what we need to make. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's our people. I was
gonna say we need to bring the alternative out, but we don't want people to come into it and mess it up.
the weirdies in the best possible way.
Yes.
Yeah. And I gotta say, when I first came to town, I was not as much as I enjoyed the weird stuff and all that kind of stuff, and had it in my collection and enjoyed watching it. I was all about more mainstream product when I came here. I was going to produce, like, eventually produce like blockbuster films, like the types of films that I grew up loving. And as I continued to bang my head against the studio doors, trying to get in and get projects made, I ended up falling into more of this alternative group, and it was having those doors closed. And I don't give too wrong of an impression. There were some doors that opened, some things got done, but it's just such a story. But at least, like, with this group that we've fallen into and that we've sort of become a part of, it feels like the old creativity that used to be in Hollywood. It feels like the independent film of the 70s, where it's literally just people together, just spitball and stuff, and just going, that sounds great, let's go shoot something. Let's see if we can make it work.
It's the Little Rascals syndrome. Let's put on a show.
Let's do it.
The freedom of not having to go to some executive above you in the studio to get that greenlit, to get somebody else to say yes, who has no concept of what you're talking about, doesn't get it, but you still need that person to say yes to get it done. Mike's going through that right now, pitching reality projects, where you would think in that realm people would get it, but even in that world, people are they play it safe. It's like we just want another version of this, and we don't understand what you're doing, so there's no room for it.
You got to create your own, I guess.
Even to the point now where, like, we were just talking about this yesterday, like in pitch meetings, producers are saying now that you have to come to them with a complete picture, a complete idea of what you want to do with this project for multiple seasons, for a reality show. Like, to me, it leaves some of the interesting creativity out of it. Like if I can't pitch to you, if I can't pitch an idea to you and you can't go immediately, I get it. Then there's no really reason for me to continue the conversation.
Exactly.
If you're not getting it, unless I'm just doing a god awful job, and not giving you the clues to
the full scope,
the full scope of what's going on in my head. But that's the thing about independence. Like, we'll go to lunch with people and just have those like short little pitches, and they'll go, "Oh, I get it. That's totally great. Send me something." And that's the world that we like to play in much better. It's all about just coming up with wacky ideas and seeing if we can deliver on them.
And the thing with horrific, if we have some interest, but if it doesn't get picked up in the next year, less than a year, like by the end of this year, I think we're going to just YouTube it. We shot 2 full episodes. We'll shoot 6 to 8 more, make it an 8 or 10 episode season. Between the people that we all know, we're going to get some interesting guests, and we're going to throw it up on YouTube, see how it sticks, and hopefully it generate enough interest to have an executive go, "Hey, what's that? What are they doing over there? I want to be a part of that."
Exactly.
I will be like, "Throw some money at us, bitches."
Bring it on. That's sort of like how I feel with what I've done. Like when I started this, you see so many people focusing on this and that on YouTube and everything, and it's kind of like the mainstream YouTube. And I was like, no, and I started falling into like the independent film and into like the B movies and stuff, because that's what I grew up on. That's what I love. And I found like people like you, like I said, I talked to Richard Gabai. I've talked to, I've actually going to be in the Run to Sheer comic book. Speaking of which, Hollowfield out there, which is,
nice.
He's got
posting the comments. Like, I'm getting more interested in this comic book.
Yeah, he's like in issue 3, he's going to have Rhonda with Brink Stevens, Kelly Maroney, and Lenora from Midnight, and I'm going to be in that comic book. I'm going to be a character in that. So like I found the alternative fringe on outside, and I've made like I talked to you before, I've made documentaries for my channel because I thought that's something I would like to eventually do, is like, see what this, if I make a documentary or a movie or something, what happen if I put that on my channel? Would I get some eyes? What would happen? So, but I agree with you guys on all that.
Well, here's the fun thing too. The fringe isn't that far away from the mainstream, because
exactly
with the Chicken Heads documentary, I've already interviewed Jerry Caselli of Devo, Richard Elfman, Dookie, but Angela Moore from Fishbone is in the documentary. We got some cool people in this thing. It's like, it's not just a bunch of weird people putting on, mutated beings hanging out and playing music. It's a legit thing, and they've been doing it for a long time. And and it documentary worthy, because of the ups and downs, man. The ups and downs of the entertainment industry down the board, whether you're in film or music or miming or whatever, theater. Yeah, it's a hell bitch with an attitude that doesn't like you. It's a mean business. You just gotta have fun with it. That's why I'm like, believe me, I wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg, but then I realized as I got older that we already got one of those. Yeah, his name was Steven Spielberg.
Be the next you.
Yeah, be the next me.
And, the first you.
and I just want to make like a half of the money he's made.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Or more.
Or more. But go ahead.
I just finance our own stuff. I wouldn't if I'd $100 million, I'd have a bank account for making movies, and I'd have a bank account for doing weird things like surviving and putting a roof over my head and squandering my money on things like food and heat.
And this
hookers and blow.
This gets us to, this is kind of, we're getting around the reason that we decided to go with crowdfunding finally, after I know crowdfunding's been a thing for what 20 years now, but we've been continuing to do it the Hollywood way for the longest time. But just for the reasons that Mike's been talking about, just being able to greenlight our own stuff, being able to finance projects without having to go through like half a dozen suits to get stuff greenlit. With crowdfunding, we just go straight to the public. And what I love about it is you're basically pre-selling your project to people.
Yeah.
So, we have the, your typical, I think it's like around $35 or $40, you get the DVD, and then, we'll do the 4K release, we'll do the Blu-ray release, we'll do all that stuff. So, through these campaigns, people who are interested in these kinds of films can be a part of it, like literally backstage. We're even talking about doing bringing on a social media face, and this is where the puppets might come in, to do like lots of live streaming from set, sort of entertainment, television, news type things, where it's like the puppets are.
You could fly me out there, put me up, and I'll go with the puppets, and we'll broadcast it.
Yeah. I'm really interested in really taking this in a direction that I haven't with any other project, which is opening it up to the public, or at least to our supporters, as wide as we can. And like, if you can't make it to the set, and we have lots of options where people can come to the set, be in the movie, be part of the whole process, as hands-on as you want, even act in it. We also want to make it accessible to people halfway around the world that aren't even able to leave their own homes. So so everybody can feel like they're a part of the process. And I'm also interested in getting feedback. I love this idea of, I'm not a fan of making movies by committee, which is one of the things that's sort of killed Hollywood, right? It's like you got a dozen executives in the room, and they all have notes, and maybe one of them has notes that make the picture better, and the rest of them are just trying to save their job. Right. So, but I like the idea of having fans, like the whole booby conversation.
The booby things, yeah.
That came up when I posted. I made a post in I have a Facebook group that's all old Army Rangers. We're all plank holders, original members of the 3rd Ranger Battalion that
awesome.
was stood up in 1984. And so I started a group because I'm also writing a movie about that, a biopic about the first 5 years of the 3rd Ranger Battalion. But I posted about this project, and of course, Rangers, guys, the first thing that came up is like, are there going to be boobies?
Of course, that's what you got to do.
And I'm like, this is the kind of feedback that I love. It's like, okay, if everybody needs to see boobies, then we're going to have some boobies.
I mean, it's a prerequisite for a B movie, especially an alien rednecks, especially redneck guys drinking beer, trucks, and their shotguns and whatnot. You got to have some kind of like chicken Daisy Dukes and cut off flannel shirt. Maybe they pop out somewhere.
We may even, I'm just going to tease it here. It could happen. Alien boobies.
Oh, that would be it. That would be fun.
Who didn't watch Star Trek TOS, and every hot green chick that came on, you're like, I'd like to see those boobies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to a previous conversation we were having in this Off the Rails podcast, video cast, duck boobies.
Yeah, from Howard the Duck.
and Howard was an alien, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Triple alien movies. Total Recall.
Total Recall, yeah.
That's a good Total Recall there, David.
Yes.
Speaking of ducks, I didn't hear you mention that. Did you get Howard for the documentary?
We did get Ed Gale, yeah.
You did? Nice.
Yep. We have most of the people, or Ernie does. Ernie did a lot of
the answer.
Just like Kevin did. Kevin did a lot of the heavy lifting for the Juki doc, and still is. And same with Ernie. I just help. I come in and help produce facilitate when I can.
Guide them and give them the good stuff.
What I did, I'm gonna give you a spoiler line from the. Hopefully, it's still in there. The Howard the Duck doc that Ernie is doing. I called as for those who have seen it. For those out there in FanZcene land, the sequence where Howard and Leah are getting a little frisky,
Mm-hmm.
and then she kind of was like, "Oh, we're just playing around." As a kid, and I wasn't a kid. I was I think a sophomore in high school when that movie came out. I was like, "What a total duck tease!"
Nice.
And I use that because I'm interviewed because I was a fan of the movie.
Yeah.
I used that in the documentary in my interview.
That's cool. I like that.
Hopefully it'll make it. I have a couple of other witty lines that I said too, but I hope they all make it.
I hope that stays in there. I like that. A nice little duck tease. I like it. So we're breaking all kinds of things. You got Anchor Bay releasing Rednecks vs. Aliens with the first look deal. You got a Howard Duck documentary. You got the chicken heads. You got the puppets. We're breaking all kinds of news here today in our alternative world of Hollywood.
That's right.
Man, I'm exhausted just thinking about all the work we got.
I know that's like a lot of work on your guys' plate.
I need to lie down.
Michael, are you awake?
Yes, triple alien boobs.
Yes, triple alien boobs. Yes.
Total Recall.
Total Recall. Definitely.
Get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting though if you had that as a perk, because like they came out not too long ago saying that the millennials or Gen Z or whatever don't like to see stuff like that. They like platonic relationships and stuff in movies, and I'm thinking that's
I don't know
defeats the purpose of relationships.
Like these are the same people that are putting out the shows that people aren't watching. I feel like there's a huge movement, and it's not just that I feel like it. I mean, I know the facts.
Mm-hmm.
There is a movement water down a lot of this stuff. I mean, we just saw it. Was it what was the was it a Sony game? Not a game, but I did see that. I think it was a Sony game that just came out where they redid their avatars and made them all like generic, genderless, basically. So you don't have curvy women anymore. They're all just look boyish, and I feel like there's a lot of that going on. We've seen it in a lot of projects that should have done really well, but you have these writers come on that are pushing this agenda, saying this is what people want to see, but the numbers are showing that's not what people want to see. People aren't going to see these movies. So
exactly.
So I keep hearing people say, well, people want this and people want that. It's like, yeah, but you're giving them that and they're not watching.
Exactly.
So I mean, I know you want this to be true, but at some point, I would think that the accountants and the stockholders and the people who care about the actual money would put a halt to all that and say, why don't you guys actually listen to your audience instead of trying to change your audience?
George Lucas did. George Lucas did after episode 1. Happy anniversary, episode 1. He was there like, Jar Jar is hated. Noted. Next movie, keep Jar Jar out of it.
Keep Jar Jar clear of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until Jar Jar made a comeback.
Yeah.
He's making a comeback.
I think it's once people got to know the actor and I think the TV show, the game show that they did, that kind of helped with the whole Jar Jar thing.
But you're not wrong.
It was kind of sad. But you do there's definitely a cadre of writers and producers, most young, in their 20s, just kind of starting out in their careers, who have made it their mission to change the face of entertainment. And unfortunately, the audience that they're speaking to is, they're taking the audience that was this big, for like an Indiana Jones film, and making it for an audience this big, and then acting all shocked and surprised and getting mad at the fans
Yeah.
for not showing up.
There's a lot of fan blaming for when those flop. A lot of fan blaming. And I think that sucks because you're alienating the fans that would buy these tickets. I mean, there's people would have killed for an Indiana Jones movie, and then you see what the Indiana Jones movie is, and those fans are like, that's not what we want. And they're going, well, it's your fault you didn't watch it then.
Yeah, and all of them, like even the latest Ghostbusters is not doing the numbers that it should be doing.
But it's good. I don't care what anyone says.
I heard it was
good. I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's good, but the point is that it's affecting properties that we have known and loved for a long time and have historically done really, really well.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, they're not doing so well anymore. And
exactly.
I think we know the reason.
I think we all do. And I'm also of an opinion that it's okay to let things in. You know, it's okay to let things in. I mean, like you guys are trying to make something original with Rednecks versus Aliens that's still in that vein of those movies that we like, those old B movies that we used to watch back in the day. You don't need, I mean, maybe that could be a new franchise. You got a new franchise there, and then there you go.
And we're not insensitive to the changes of the landscape. I mean, I've got 3 kids that are, my youngest just turned 20. So I have a pretty good idea of, where a lot of them want to go, but I also know that they still laugh and still enjoy a lot of the old stuff, which is why a lot of that's coming back.
Yes.
A lot of that stuff. I think you just do a show about how a lot of the old programming is coming back into filling the holes where the new programming is failing.
We just saw Dave's comment about how the majority of the shows on streaming, there's a reason most watch shows and movies on streaming are the old titles.
Yeah. I covered that in a video. There was the data came out because they don't like streaming doesn't like to release the data of what's being watched and what's not watched.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't understand that myself, but
I don't want to tell anyone what my thing is doing.
Yeah, I can't tell you because then it might be worse than who knows. But anyways, like the top 10 programs on streaming, all the streaming services were old TV shows. We're all old TV shows from Friends and all stuff like that.
Was one of them Murder, She Wrote? Was one of them Murder, She Wrote?
No, I believe one of them was Gilmore Girls, Friends, and
Green Acres.
No, not stuff like that. It was more like the 90s era.
Not that old.
But then again, they only really play those type of shows from that era on streaming.
True. Someone needs to put Green Acres on.
Green Acres is the place to be.
It's got to be on Me. It's got to be on Me TV, right?
I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Didn't Me TV just announce that they're doing a whole old cartoon channel?
Yes.
I think I just saw that cartoon crew. Yeah, they're
not just old cartoons, Looney Tunes specifically.
Yeah. Not just Looney Tunes though. I think it's more than Looney Tunes.
I just saw Looney Tunes.
Didn't they have the Flintstones at one point in time? So they might have a little bit of the Hanna-Barbera.
The Flintstones.
Some Hanna-Barbera was included. I can't remember, but again, it just sort of proves the point. Old content is still relevant.
And you will see there will be several hundred Green Acres references in Rednecks versus Aliens. Trust me. I used to fake sick. Mom, you're not watching this. You're not watching this. You're not hearing it. I used to fake skip school. I don't feel good. I wanted to watch Green Acres and Petticoat Junction.
Nice.
I was a growing boy.
Talk about Petticoat Junction, nice redneck woman. I'm just saying.
You know that barn that is in the opening credits of Green Acres that said Green Acres on it? Isn't that still there? I feel like it's still there.
I think so.
It was a ranch out there. I can't remember. It might be just a neighborhood, but that would be so fun to match that shot.
Yeah, go shoot it out there.
Yeah.
Well, with digital technology, we can do anything, or we build it out of wood.
Now you got to have a rich New York couple who living in the redneck area.
Who says
Like
there's
Green
not?
Acres.
Greg,
That's
who says those characters don't already exist?
There you go. You got it. Like the guy wants to be a farmer, and you got the chick in the fur coat.
Yeah,
maybe she's really, really hot.
New York was where she'd rather stay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You get allergic smelling hay, but hey.
But she has to sell for Chuck's Bar and Grill.
Yeah, that's the type. Speaking of which, that's the type of character where like she's this bitchy New Yorker woman who doesn't want to stay there, and maybe the aliens get to comeuppance and her tits flop out. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe it's already written. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe it's already written.
By the end of the movie, she's in Daisy Dukes in a flannel and she's farming. So
yeah.
Maybe it's already written.
There you go. Oh, that's great. That is great.
The script writes itself.
It just writes itself. No, I thought seriously, I am interested to see what you guys put together with this because this movie does sound fun. This sounds like it could be a really fun time at a movie.
Damn well better.
That's the point.
Yeah.
We want to make entertaining stuff. I'm a little sick of the agendas and I'm not going to use any of the terms, but movies have changed, and
yes,
some, not all of them. I mean, there's still people. I mean, look, my last 3 movies, I wasn't being like, I've got to make sure that they learn their lesson here. I just wanted to make fun movies,
right?
You know? Watch them, have fun, go home for the night. Tell your friends around the water. Oh, I saw this weird little movie last night. Look, I have my own personal opinions. I don't walk around every day going, hey, do you like cheese or do you like meat better? Because I like meat better, and you better like meat better because meat's better than cheese. Oh, you disagree with me? Well, you're wrong. Meat's better. I don't do that.
Right.
Or religion or what.
Yeah.
I understand it all. I am sympathetic to everybody's wanting to be their own person, which is why I don't run around yelling about meat and cheese.
Right.
Because I don't want anyone doing that to me. And sometimes it feels like, do you have siblings, Greg?
Yeah, I have 3 brothers.
Are they older?
I'm the second oldest. I have 1 older brother.
Did your older brother go like, I'm not touching you, or touch his eyeball over you?
Yes. We all 4 fought each other and aggravated each other.
Those car trips must have been great for your parents.
That's how I feel when people are trying to cram an agenda of some sort down my throat, hidden inside of a movie or a television show. It's that I'm touching my eye.
I don't mind it if it's well crafted.
Well,
Roddenberry was really good at it.
But
there were a lot of creators that are really good at it. Spielberg.
It's not shoving down our throats.
Yeah, it's not shoving it in your face.
Yeah,
it's like, try this.
It's crafting it. Look, a while ago, I took a script class that was just about making profound stories and adding that level of profoundness and a message to your story and making it integral to the story. Not having it stand out like a billboard, like this is what you should walk away with. But those kind of movies, like a Forrest Gump, well, by the time you get to the end of it, you're a little choked up. You feel a little different about life. That's the kind of stories that we like to tell. And those are the kind of stories that used to try, even in old B-movie science fiction. They were, I mean, especially in B-movie science fiction, because they were writing stories. They were writing stories about communists. They were writing stories about fascism. They were writing stories about all kinds of things that they couldn't talk about.
Things from another planet.
And they learned how to couch it into the story and into the picture.
But it's not shoved on our throat.
Today's writers, they are doing that. Today's writers, it's all about what's the message. We'll write a whole page and a half on that, and then we'll kind of work the story around that. just to kind of prop up this giant billboard that's our message.
Well, it's the
it's completely ass backwards from the way that it should be done, and
they're not doing it like they did it like Robert Wise with The Day the Earth Stood Still. I mean, they're shoving it down our throats, and I'm sick of having shit shoved down my throat.
They don't understand. Yeah. They don't understand metaphor. They don't understand allegory. They don't understand any of those. They
don't get it.
They don't take it. They didn't take those classes. They took all of the Me Too classes, all the DEI classes, all of the message. This is how you are being wronged. All of those kinds of classes, which are fine for helping, especially at a young age. You don't have a lot of life experience. I mean, that's kind of where you get it, is through these kinds of classes, kind of understanding the greater world. That's great. But then if your craft is going to be writing, you really need to spend a lot of amount of time studying that craft and taking it seriously. Yeah. And I just don't see that happening. I see a lot of 20-something-year-olds coming right out of school, ending up in these jobs that are just shy of showrunner, and shaping these projects into things that make no sense to anybody. Even the audience that they think that they're speaking to doesn't want to watch these shows.
Exactly. That's what I was wondering, is like, how long until because they keep constantly losing money and these things keep constantly flopping, and they don't want to reveal the numbers and all this. It's like, how much more are you going to lose before you realize that you got to make a change? You're going to have to change it eventually.
The problem is that now with the HR departments being so ensconced with a lot of these ideas and ideals and ideology, it's hard for even executives to come forward. Like, nobody wants to rock that boat. They're still afraid of being canceled. You know, if you're at a meeting and you say, "Look, can we talk about the story?" And we've spent 45 minutes talking about how you want to change the world. But what's the story that you're going to tell that will do that? Yeah. And then you get all these weird looks of like, well, who are you? What do we care about that? It's like, we're trying to change the world.
Yeah, it's insane. It is insane out there. That's why that's like you guys and stuff. This is why you see more people going into independent film and more independent creators sprouting up, because those ideals are there, and just they need a way to get them out because nobody else is listening to them.
I think we're going to get it's already started. A new renaissance of independent films is happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, yeah. I agree with you.
We're well into it right now.
Yeah, I mean, every project I've done has been very low budget or no budget. I mean, I'm just putting together stuff the best I can and filming it and seeing what happens, and getting a little money here and there, but I'm not, money is not being dumped on me by Hollywood, at least not yet. And I will stick to my guns. If Hollywood comes to me and was like, "We want you to make X whatever movie," I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Okay, but am I going to have to be forced to shove agenda down down the audience's throat, or will I be able to tell a story that's a good story and not revolved around what your agenda or your message is?" Right. Like, I'm sticking to my guns because
I'm happy to hear that, because we need more people like you guys. Yeah, too old for this shit.
Too old for this shit.
Too old for this shit. We need more people like you guys, which like you said, I do believe that's coming on strong. I believe that as well, because I've talked to a lot of independent directors and stuff, and you can feel a change in the air. You can feel a change in the air. I think it's coming.
You say you can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Boom.
Now we need a drum fill.
Yeah. There's some great production companies out there putting out some really cool stuff. Monkey Paw comes to mind right away. They just announced something else. I think they're doing a reboot of something. I can't remember what it was, but Monkey Paw, Jordan Peele's company, they've been doing some amazing stuff. I mean, when you look at stuff like Nope and the one that they broke how come I can't remember the
Get Out.
Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah.
No, I'm just telling you to Get out.
Get out.
Heavy, those are great examples of pretty heavy message films, but still entertaining. Like Get Out didn't hide its agenda one bit, and subverted it at the very end, which I loved. The very end of that thing where they changed the ending and subverted it a little bit. I thought that was genius. But that kind of storytelling, where even like it's plain as day, this is what we're talking about. This issue of racism, and a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's told in such an engaging, interesting, entertaining way that you're just taking on the ride. You're just going on the ride. You're not worried about, oh yeah, and they also produced Wendell and Wild, which, oh, hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Jay?
Jay?
It says, don't forget to mention they produced Wendell and Wild. Hi, James. This is Jay.
Is this Grip Gaffer Jay that I know? Anyway, yes, they also produced Wendell and Wild, which again, kind of messagey, but still entertaining. And I love that. I don't know if I don't know that I like to get out as forward in my message. I still like the entertainment to lead in people's minds, but and kind of put in the subtle stuff, like this is, the more profound, the messaging stuff, very subtle. That's my preference. But I love the fact that writing still exists out there. And again, it's in the independent realms. Like in a studio situation, there'd be so many notes on that script that by the time you got done, Get Out would end up just being this generic thing with no point of view.
That was like the thing. I believe it was Chris Gore who said it. He said that they took something that was predominantly done in the independent arena, like a lot of those message-driven films. Were in independent films. They were playing to a smaller audience. They knew their audience, like those ones that wanted to present the message-driven film. They took that and they tried to make it mainstream, and it's not working.
Have you had Chris Gore on your show?
I have not. I've been wanting to, but I have not had him on here.
He's a Detroit boy or Michigan boy.
Yep.
Michigan.
I know people who know him. I just have never had him on here yet.
Have you seen his movies?
Yeah, I know he did the Attack of the Dock is one, but I haven't seen the other ones.
I'm talking about from a long time ago.
No, I haven't seen his stuff from a long time ago.
He did a couple of Super 8 movies. One of them was called Ouch. And it's a short film starring Glenn Barr, one of my favorite artists of all time, Glenn Barr, who actually did some artwork for me for a possible animated series, but we'll get into that next time. But Glenn Barr is just the star of this movie, and he goes to a lab for an experiment for, I think it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think he's like, oh, I can make some extra money. And he drinks this formula that's supposed to change your life, and ends up, he figures out he doesn't feel pain. He's like jumping off his house and landing flat on his face, and people are, the neighbors are like, yeah, that's great, but his like nose gets all busted up, and his teeth get knocked out, but he can't feel it, so he doesn't care. So he becomes this like freak. There's that, and then he did one. It's mainly photos. There's a little bit of Super 8 movie in the beginning, but it's photos of Lawrence Tierney, and it's prank phone calls. It's just photos with audio under it, and it's prank phone calls, and it's like, like what Bart Simpson did to Moe Szyslak and all those great episodes of The Simpsons where he's like, is IP Freely there? Is there an IP Freely? Hey everyone, IP Freely. That kind of stuff. And then of course Lawrence Tierney goes, I don't know if you know much about Lawrence Tierney, Greg, but he was a troublesome lad. Even back in the day when he started acting. But he starts swearing up a storm. It's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you when I get a hold of you. and it's Lawrence Tierney, so that gruff, mean voice. But yeah, Chris Gore did some cool little Super 8 movies back in the day.
Nice.
I'm sure they're probably on YouTube somewhere. I bought them. I think I bought them through like film because everyone knows he started Film Threat.
Film Threat, yeah.
I think I bought them through Film Threat, or I might have bought them at Thomas Video, which was like the store in Clawson, Michigan, not too far from Royal Oak, which I believe Chris is from Royal Oak. But yeah, man, and video stores are coming back.
Oh, I hope so. I love the video store.
I mean, look at Vidiots. We still have Vidiots. The Vidiots here started back in the day and was, I think, closed in 2016 or 2017, but just recently opened up. I think they got like 70,000 titles.
Nice.
A store in Eagle Rock that also has 2 movie theaters in it.
Nice.
It has a 271 seat theater, and it has like a smaller, more, I think, 50. It's more of a conference room than anything, but you can get like 50, 60 people in that, and you can do conferences or film screenings there. It's a film community, and that's what they're trying to grow. Like that kind of stuff is coming back because
awesome.
There's an independent cinema here in Gardenia that's 800 seats. As one theater, 800. That's a lot of seats. Yeah. That's a lot of asses to put in the seats. But and they show first run movies, they show second run movies, they do private screenings, they do independent screenings. Like I'm seeing a lot more of those little things popping up. There's supposed to be one popping up here in like the Burbank, North Hollywood area. And there's talk about a place downtown called the Independent that they're trying to do more stuff there. So like, well, was it you, James, that told me about the concert movies? Like AMC.
I don't know if you saw this, Greg, but AMC recently opened up their own distribution.
I don't think I saw this one. Yeah.
And they are specific. I don't know if it's only, but I know the primary type of product that they're going after is more concert films. That Taylor Swift did so well for them that, and again, because studios aren't filling the theaters.
Yes.
All the theater chains now are scrambling to find other ways to get programming and obviously get butts and seats and sell popcorn. Yeah. So AMC has literally opened their own distribution channel. So that
it's happening. It's happening down the board because the Regal does it. Regal's very open to independent cinema. I know plenty of people. There's a relatively new Regal here in North Hollywood in this crazy outdoor mall that they built. But I think it's either a 6 cinema or 8 cinema theater, and I know several people who've gotten really nice premieres there for very little money.
That's how we got Every Man's War out in theaters, was doing deals directly with small independent theaters.
Look at Hundreds of Beavers, which is this movie by the Lake Michigan Monster people.
Yeah,
they have four-walled. I don't know who they're doing it through, if they're doing it by themselves or what, but the Lemleys around L.A. showed that movie several times. I saw it several times at the Lemley in North Hollywood, up the street from me. I think we're going to see. I mean, that's what was happening back in the day, in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, even late 70s, early 80s. Less of it, but there was still that opportunity to do those four walls and those smaller releases.
Well, those were the years, the 70s and 80s were, especially, more the 80s and the 90s, when smaller places had to start closing because the big theater plexes started popping up.
Yeah.
And those small theaters, which were the main run theaters, had to make the shift and become independent run theaters. Because they weren't even offered the first run prints anymore. So I feel like something similar is happening now, where there's a huge shift in the whole economic the whole sphere of film right now, and entertainment in general. And I feel like also, there is a I mean, getting back to music videos, brick and mortar video stores, Movie Madness in Portland is still going strong and has been for decades. And it was a little iffy there for a little bit, but I think even COVID made them even stronger. Like it's coming back. I feel like there's even room, like some enterprising soul could probably start setting up a new video chain.
I think so.
That's
well,
kind of
a happening because people are sick of streaming.
It is.
They're sick of streaming and they're sick of movies going away that they can't get a hold of.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like there's room for some new version of maybe a streamlined thing. Maybe starting with pop-ups. Maybe somebody takes a page from chefs and does a truck. Does a truck or just. In LA and New York would be the perfect place to start something like that.
I feel like
they have those, those like libraries. Pick a movie.
Just like a mobile library. You have a mobile video.
But they're doing it already. They're doing the little stands. So take a movie like with books.
Yeah.
A little like I was driving through a neighborhood the other day and I saw on the corner next to the book, little book nook thing where pick a book. Leave a book. There was a video. There was videos in it, and next to it was another thing with video. But I honestly, there's a video store here in Burbank that does exclusively. There's two of them actually that do exclusively VHS.
Nice, that's cool.
They're running VHS, and both these places have events all the time.
Yeah.
Matter of fact. The Gardenia Cinema just screened a trauma movie called Spirit Catcher, and so the Gardenia had an event. They screened the movie there, and then the next night there's a place in LA called Whammy Video, and it's VHS.
Yeah,
Central.
I know Whammy.
And they have screenings. They showed a VHS copy of Spirit Catcher. Or Spirit Grab or whatever it is at the store the next night. Like I was thinking about renting out because they do a very small intimate screenings as this other video store in Burbank. I'm just pointing like where
it's like down here and over there. That's up here.
Behind you.
Right there.
But I know both of them have events, and Joe Dante was the one in Burbank here not too long ago.
Awesome!
They did a screening of Inner Space, and Whammy. I almost rented Whammy for my last movie because they had a setup, but we got a better, we got a cooler deal with the actual Lemley down the street.
No.
But yeah, I like those. I want, and I'm seeing more of these little intimate video store type places that do events. I'm really excited about Vidiots. I mean, I have not been there yet, and I'm an idiot for not going.
No, you better get on there.
You're
a Vidiot.
I want to meet those people. Well, I had a membership to Vidiots before I even moved here. I got one in 1995. Yeah, I got one in 1995. And I wasn't even living. It was in Santa Monica originally. I wasn't even living near there. Yeah. But every once in a while, I'd be in the area. I'd be like, I'm going to grab a movie, and I'd find something really obscure, and take it back to wherever I was living and watch it, and get it back to them. They do longer rentals there, so
I would love to do a sort of a book tour style thing with Rednecks once it rolls out. I mean, we've talked about
we definitely four-wall theater.
We talked about doing the festival circuit, which I think in conjunction with that, because you're always looking for ways to get people to actually see your film in festivals. But if we can find local shops like this, like video stores that will do events, I would totally go. So even if I had to carry a screen around with me, I would totally set up little small screenings.
Even like the Alamo Draft House. The Alamo
Yeah,
Draft
like
House.
the house, like a lot of those places that are the smaller places. I mean, I'd probably even if AMC was like, hey, look, we got a theater in that market that's not doing so much. Could you book something there? Yeah, I'd do it. But I love the idea of supporting and giving back to this community that we all love. You know, the people who are into physical media, the people who are into B movies, the people who go to these small little screenings because they're just because it's in their soul, right? Like
I think if I'm not mistaken, Dinner with Leatherface will be bouncing around Alamo Draft Houses. I think
nice
because I know we're getting a limited theatrical at some. I'm pretty sure, but I think they're going with Alamo. I know it was brought up. I know that they're talking about because it's the 50th anniversary of Chainsaw. And,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I would love to see that. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, you're going to.
I'm going to
do a whole episode about it.
Yes.
How many screens can fit on this?
On this, up to 10.
All right. Well, it'll be me and 9 other people. Oh wait, 8 other people.
As long as all the internet holds up. That's the thing.
Well, like because I don't know if you looked at the IMDb page, but we got like all the heavy hitters in Dinner with Leatherface.
I've seen some of them. Yes.
So many. Got to cut some out.
No one's
not enough room. It'll be in the.
Actually, you know what? This may hold 12, but like I said, the internet. If I put a little bit on the internet to do all 12 at one time.
I understand.
Yes, but it can hold it. I think it can hold up to it.
I just wanted to recognize B movie theater. I agree with you that kids getting into old films are going to realize they can get physical copies.
Yes.
Because of channels like Greg's channel, like FanZcene and Film Threat and so many other channels. On here, a lot of the other channels, the people that you talk to, I love some of those things.
And the libraries themselves, with the librarians outside going, "We got your movies and your books here.
We got your movies and your books here."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like physical media is becoming cool again.
I do too. It's always been cool to me. So
that's what Anchor Bay's focusing on. I mean, look at all these boutique companies like Vinegar Syndrome and
And streaming, like you said earlier, streaming's become a shit show. It's worse than cable. At least cable, you kind of understood the deal, and you knew going in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm paying X amount, and this is what I'm going to get. Streaming is like grocery stores these days, where they constantly shift stuff around to keep you engaged in the aisles, so you don't get too bored. It's like like Vegas, where it's like, they get tired of one thing and they tear it down and put up another thing. It's constantly changing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're halfway through watching binging a series, like year 2 into it, and then it's taken off the streamer and moved to a different one because they did a different licensing deal. It's just and if you, God forbid, you want to own something anymore, the only way to do it the only way to do it is through physical media. The myth of owning a digital copy has been blown out of the water because of greed. Fucking greedy bastards.
100%.
Like I just saw a video that broke down the whole tier system and subscriptions, and I was livid by the end of it, of how we've been taking down this whole freaking trail of like, oh, streaming is going to be great. You can watch all this stuff for free. And now all of a sudden I'm paying 3 times more than I did for cable and getting half the
commercials.
Yeah.
And
paying for it
now
and
it's like
commercials. Now we have to do both. Now we have to pay a premium and still get commercials.
Exactly.
If you want to get rid of all commercials, you have to do the premium plus or the premium.
Yeah, exactly. And like with Disney, what they're going to do, that they said, is they've eventually created their own cable network with Disney Plus, because now they're going to have you a paywall behind a paywall, because now they're going to do, because they're trying to compete with Tubi, because Tubi and then more people's watching Tubi than they are watching them. So they're going to give you like,
TV. Like
yeah.
if I'm gonna watch commercials, I might as well watch it in the way that I'm used to. Just run those fucking commercials and I'll watch the thing. And I'm not paying a premium.
Yeah, because now Tubi, with Disney, you can be able. They're saying that you can sign up and you'll get this, this. But if you say you want the Marvel package or the Star Wars package, or if you want the Disney Classics package, like HBO or Showtime or Cinemax, you got to pay this. Oh, but you want no commercials, you got to pay this.
I got their package right here.
You must have also heard that Disney is backing off because Disney Plus is losing money hand over fist, like to the tune of billions of dollars. They still have made a profit. They're rethinking. They're like, oh, well, let's see, we've lost $4 billion. We could probably only afford another $1 billion, so maybe we should think about redoing this. So they're also looking at Tubi, and they're thinking of shifting their model and opening it up to an ad-based model where they call it Disney, basically going back to Disney Channel.
That's what I say. That's what they're planning on doing, because you sign up and you get the free service, but if you want this package or this add-on or that add-on, you got to start paying them. So they've created cable. Right.
Recreated cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. I'm going to have to start closing it down because I got to go get the kids from school here in a minute. So I appreciate you guys.
Wait, thank you. You're kidnapping children?
No, I got to get my kids.
You have children.
Yes.
You don't look old enough.
How old are your kids?
How old do you guys think I am now? Just looking at me.
26.
No.
Yeah, I would guess like right around 30.
I'm 40. I'm going to be 41 in like 3 weeks.
You're a young looking 40. You're living right.
You are. And you have kids, so you're not like
7 and 8 or 8 and 7.
There's got to be a good woman in your life. There must be.
I'm single.
Oh man,
single dad. Woman. Yeah.
Single dad. You're doing it. You're making it happen. Holy shit. Well, mad props to you, my friend.
Yeah. Are they as cool as you, or are they cooler?
Oh, they're cooler than me. They're always cooler than me. Football, cheerleading. I was a nerd, fat nerd. I never got to do that stuff.
Do they shut up, nerdlinger, if you say something?
No, they don't.
I had that same feeling watching my kids go through school. I was like, God, these kids, you got it handled so much better than I did when I was in school. Like my middle child, who has since fully transitioned into male, started as female, and when she was a freshman in high school, when he was still a she came out as pansexual as a freshman, hardly knew anybody, and then immediately rose in the social ranks. And I remember my first thought was, that would have never happened in my high school. First of all, the first thing would have been, what the heck is pansexual? Like, I don't even understand that. And the other thing would be, like, if you were anything other than presenting heterosexual, forget about it. You were on the outside. You're lucky if you just got shoved to the side.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of my child when I learned that, and the reaction that they got. I thought it was quite remarkable. I was like, I could not have been that kid, and I'm very proud of you. So I do see it. Yeah,
it's true you couldn't have, because every time I see you, I kind of feel like beating you up.
Like beating you up.
Still putting off that vibe.
All right, guys. I thank you. Appreciate it. So to everybody out there watching, make sure you tell your friends about all the news that you learned here about Rednecks versus Aliens, Howard the Duck Chickens, Beetlejuice, horrific.
Don't tell them about that. Don't tell them about that.
Don't tell them about Beetlejuice.
I wasn't here.
But I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody at home watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks,
see ya.